It's another Monday morning, fun day morning, Monday morning. We did it, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Monday fun day. It's May 3rd, 2021. Ooh, man, it's May, June, July. We're almost halfway through the year. Jeez Louise, dude, it's, yeah, time's flying. I hope you guys are all doing well wherever you are in and around this beautiful world we call planet Earth, dude. Or lady, whoever you are, thank you very much for coming in and tuning in every week. If you've been a long-time listener, thank you very much. If you like these videos, go ahead and lit it up by hitting that like button on Instagram, on YouTube, follow me on Patreon, do whatever you gotta do. To each their own, whatever best fits your schedule, whatever you're comfortable with. Or if you just want to watch these videos and enjoy it, do it too. You can do that, no problemo. And if you're just tuning in, your first time visiting, go ahead. There's a ton of videos in the catalog. And then, yeah, man, let's add to the family. The more the merrier. Let's do it. Sip of this bad boy coffee here. And yeah, man, had a great weekend. Hope you guys had a great weekend too. I've managed to do a lot of walking, a lot of hiking, and put in a couple of Ks, you know, on the clicker, dude. Put in a couple of Ks. It was on Saturday that I went out for a walk with my brother. It was really nice. We went out for a walk in and around the neighborhood, but 11K, dude, 11K. It was really nice. Got some solid exercise. The legs really felt it by the end of the walk, and yeah, got home and enjoyed some delicious rotini, dude. That's what I had left over. That's what I'm talking about. Walking, hiking, making good memories, enjoying summer, enjoying spring, all the seasons. Later on, fall, winter, it doesn't matter. Enjoy is what I'm trying to tell you. And prior to going out for that walk, we stopped at a Starbucks, dude. Stopped at a Starbucks to treat ourselves to a delicious cup of joe. You know, it's because that's what you do every once in a while. Normally, I'm a Tim's guy because I just like my regular small coffee and that's it, dude. But sometimes it's nice to treat yourself, whether it's Starbucks or another just, you know, brand of coffee shop that's just brewing that special brew, and you just get a little bit of that sniff in the air and you're like, yes, yes, yes. To coffee, of course. So we went in the Starbucks, dude. We're just waiting around, got our coffee, put in the order, we're waiting for the coffee, and then we're just talking, and then somebody from behind, this gentleman, he made a compliment, or a comment rather, on my jacket. He's like, dude, bro, nice jacket. And turn around and I see this dude and I thanked him. I'm like, yeah, thank you very much. It's all right. Does the job, keeps me warm. And he's like, no, really, I mean it. Thank you. I mean, it looks really, he said, it looks really nice. And I'm like, thank you. And he's like, where'd you get it from? And I'm all like, dude, it's just at Zara, down at the Eaton Center. If you guys don't know the Eaton Center because you're not from Toronto or Ontario or whatever, it's this shopping center right at the city core, and it's got all the essentials. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, cut to, I'm explaining, yeah, I got it from Zara, and he's just not buying it. He's like, at this point, he's getting closer. He's just like, he's now got his hands on my coat, going like this. Right? He's like, no way, dude. I'm like, dude, way. He's like, dude, it's not Zara. I'm like, dude, Zara. He's like, no way. I'm like, bro, way. Dude, no way. And this went on for like a good half an hour. This went on for a good half an hour until I had to unzip my jacket and be like, dude, look at the tag, man. It says Zara. Again, I don't care for brands. I don't go out shop. I don't even shop too much, you guys. I'm not a big shopper, but every now and again, whatever I need, if I see something that appears decent to me, it doesn't matter if it's got a brand. I'm not a brand shopper. Again, most of the time, past few years now, been doing my shopping like many of you guys, doing it online. But whatever, you see something you might like, you pick it up. Doesn't matter. So I picked up this coat or jacket or what have you, and I got a nice compliment on it. But man, this conversation went on for a good, 45 minutes between me and this fella, just arguing back and forth. Did you get it from Zara? I'm like, I did, man. He's like, no way. I'm like, dude, way. He's like, bruh, I don't buy it. I'm like, dude, trust, man, I'm wearing it. He's like, ah. Yeah, it took a lot of persuasion, but I got the message through, and thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the compliment, I guess. It is what it is. But upwards and onwards and onwards and upwards, dude. It's a beautiful week. It's getting nice again. It's 11, 12 degrees, a little bit of mixing sun and clouds, getting that. Still, we're getting the April showers, dude, and it is what it is. I like it. I carry an umbrella with me now because I know might be walking, you get a little bit of that drizzle, dude. Gotta be prepared. Gotta be prepared for Mother Nature, because all of a sudden in a couple of weeks it's already out there. The trees are already green, flowers are blooming and blossoming, dude. It's very nice. I'm very excited, and it's May. It's the, what is it? January, February, March, April, May, 5th month of the year, dude. Yeah, that's right. We're almost halfway through the year, so it's just trying to keep positive, trying to do good things, and keep busy as much as I can. I encourage everybody else out there to do the same. And yeah, it's just, I'd like everybody to talk, listen, dude, listen. Everybody needs to just listen and hear each other out. And that's what I've been telling myself. And that's what I encourage everybody else to do as well. It's just, listening's very important, man. Listening's very important. Paying attention is very important, because it's so easy to, like, you know, misread something or misunderstand something or miscommunicate something, especially if it's nowadays. Our attention spans are, we want everything now, we want it done, we want it ASAP, dude. So give it to me in the shortest context possible. And yeah, I want to just put it in a box and understand it and be done with it, whatever. But that's not how life works, man. You gotta be patient. You gotta, like, and that's and yeah, I definitely had a reminder last week. I guess I had a reminder last week that everybody needs to just be more patient and listen more carefully and just pay attention and be understanding of each other. Because at the end of the day, we're all humans, and there's 7 or 8 or whatever. There's a few billion of us, right? 7, 8 billion of us crawling on this little planet, and we all got our little opinions and our perspectives and our biases. And it's just good to, I try not to really, like, hold on to ideas or make them concrete in my head. I'm always trying to keep an open mind, and I'm always trying to, like, listen and, if need be, adjust my views. And that's what I had a little reminder of that last week. And also, just taking the time to really communicate. It's so important. We don't pay attention to these things, but, like, yeah, it's so important to be able to communicate and get your point across, and also not be doing it in a manner that you want to be like, oh, well, I'm getting these things in, I'm putting in these points to make sure that I'm right at the end of it. It's not about being right or wrong. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about growing, about learning and growing. And that's what it is, man. Yeah, ever since I was a kid, even, like, I remember even being in school, I was just so eager to, like, learn and, like, improve and, like, do the next thing. I was never, like, fascinated by the idea of getting things particularly right, if that makes sense. But help me out, man, because I've learned to really, like, focus with hyper attention, if that makes sense. And although I'm very aware of my peripheral vision, peripheral surroundings, when I want to focus on something, I can really do a great job at it. And I noticed that as I'm getting a little bit older, I need to just pay attention more, focus more on the things that matter, and I'm getting better at it, right? It's just mental jiu-jitsu, and I think a lot of you guys can relate to that, as every day we sharpen our tools in our tool belt, whatever may be the tool. Sometimes, like, one of my biggest things that has helped me out throughout my life, maybe this will help one of you guys out there, man, just, like, learning how to listen. I know a lot of times, obviously, I get in here and I'm talking with you guys, but besides this, most of the time I'm spending a lot of time, like, listening and paying attention. And it's helped me quite a bit, because by listening you get to know other people, you get to learn other things. And I don't ever want to be right on everything. That would suck. I'm not right on everything. I like making mistakes. That's where I learn. It's just yeah, I think in today's society we've been, again, to a certain degree, maybe brainwashed to live in a gotcha society. You know what I'm talking about? Gotcha. You know what I'm talking about? We're just looking at, and everybody's got these things to work on. I know I've got a little bit of it. Everybody's got a little bit of it. You know what I'm talking about? You want to, but that's the thing. It's being aware of it and paying attention and catching yourselves, right? And that's what I'm trying to do. Not to get upset at people, not to get in my feelings about things as much as I can. You know what I'm talking about? Certain topics, certain topics that whatever we come across on our daily lives, because they do impact us, whether it's whatever it may be. It doesn't even matter what it is. But that's the thing. We all have our biases, and we all get in our feelings, and we all get in our camps and want to be right. But it's not even being, again, right or wrong that matters, because if you ask anybody what they're really like, well, why are you passionate about this, that, and the other? And at the end of it, it's like, well, I want to be helping myself and helping others. Well, it's like, damn, well, we all got that in common. So it's like, okay, great. That's a great starting point. If everybody, like, that's the thing, the intention is everybody's very passionate about their beliefs and ways of living and practicing life. But that's the thing, why are you? Because you've gone out of your way of spending X amount of years trying to perfect this way of living, so to ease yourself of the hardships of life, so to ease others of those same hardships. And it's just like, okay, so like most people, I really do believe genuinely, like, humans were born as blank slates. I don't think there are any evil babies or anything like that out there. I've never seen an evil baby, dude. You know what I'm talking about? So it's just like little things we learn here and there, and everything can be, you can always change your mind. You can learn, unlearn, give each other the chance to do better. And that's the thing, we need to step away from. I think a lot of people are. That's why I'm so happy. A lot of people are stepping away from camps and groups and cliques and flags and this, that. Most people, I find, whenever I get a chance to really like talk to them, most people are in the middle, somewhere in the middle amongst all things. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. Sometimes the discourse and the rhetoric outside and the media and the politics of everyday life, which is now embedded into everything, and a lot of us, no matter what we do encounter a little bit of politics here and there, right? There's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of divisiveness to be spread, because the more divided we are, the easier it is to get us separated and sell us ideas and sell us this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, man, we have so much in common. It's just, do you want to put in the time to listen? And that's what it is. Do you want to put in the time to listen? And I, for one, as much as I love talking, I actually love listening way more than I love talking. That's reality of it, but that's how it is. It goes hand in hand. And that's what I do. I try to listen a lot. I listen to everything, man. I listen to people. I watch a lot of different variety of shows, documentaries, movies. I listen to all types of music, all sorts of music, depending on the mood, depending on, like, I'll go out of my comfort zone. Sometimes I'll listen to something that might not even be my cup of tea, but even in that, I'll be able to, like, learn something. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. I've just learned to really, like, try to open myself up to life and not be rigid, not be dogmatic, not be coming in with my biases, or I'm trying to stay as objective as possible and, like, look at everything from as many angles as possible. And I think that's a huge thing that we've not been, critical thinking, essentially. There's not too much emphasis on that in schooling and life until you really have to, like, get out there and, like, challenge yourself by having to, survive, make a living, find your identity, choose your friends amongst the way as you're growing, build your family, this, that, and the other. And it's like, man, we all need to be taught these things. But if you're not interested, or if you don't go out after it, it's not necessarily embedded into the education system. It's not really embedded in the workforce. But it's just like, you're, for the most part, you're mandated to, go about your day kind of like be passive, be like a robot, be a yes man or be a yes woman most of the time. Don't question things, don't ask questions, don't be the person that's shaking up whatever status quo's in place, because nobody likes to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm talking about? But it's all right. I love discomfort. I love being challenged. I love getting my feelings hurt and then trying not to be in my feelings, because those times when I'm just like, oh man, this person made a point. That's great, because that's like, somebody's coming in and checking you. Somebody's coming in and, like, taking, because every time we can just walk around and be like, well, I know this, I know that, and I feel great about it. And if everybody were to just view things the way I see it, and it's like, no, dude, that's delusional. That's like if you want everybody to view the world the way you view it and agree upon, that's a dystopian nightmare. It gets packaged as like a beautiful utopia where everything's like, just everybody's the same, everybody. But that's the thing, I really truly believe in different identities and different ways of living, and just like I just respect everybody. I just love humans, and I'm open to everything. I'm open to life, and at the end of it, I want to be protecting people and protecting myself and providing a safe space for people to come in and joke about shit and have fun and laugh, enjoy food, have a little drinky poo, smoke a little J if you're of age, and just be a part of a community. You know what I'm talking about? And I find that I can be a part of the community without putting myself in any particular group, dude. I'm not a big fan of cliques. I'm not a big fan of flags or labels or isms. I'm just for Team Humanity. I love peepsies and I love all sorts of people. That's what it is. And we're also powerful and unique, and it's just the more you pay attention, the more you listen, and you got to listen to yourself as well. That's part of the listening that I've learned to do, because I've spent my life's been going through different stages, and it's always been like that. I've had moments in my life where I've had a ton of friends. I've had moments in my life where I've spent a lot of time in isolation. I've had times where I've had to travel and like not know where I'm going to be living for X amount of months, and all these things that I've done, whether some of it, it's just, and I was just opening myself even back then and continuously trying to open myself to experiences without really having too much expectations. I just know that every day I wake up, I open my eyes, I'm just given another day at life, and I just try to do it better. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I fail, and then I try to learn from those mistakes along the way and just make it better. I'm not in a competition with anybody or anything, and anything for that. I'm just trying to live my life to the fullest. That's all there is. I don't want anybody's rights to be infringed upon, and I don't want my rights to be infringed upon. And right now we're living in a very, again, pivotal stage in history and in society where it's like, man, a lot of topics, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, individuality, all these things are being, they're being little by little jabs. Sometimes maybe it's not even little jabs. Sometimes it feels like big infringements on these things. And I feel like we get stuck on our initial ideas and our desire to be right, so that when there is a time that we need to readjust our minds and our points of view, we get dogmatic, we get in our feelings, we get egotistic about it, We're like, no, I don't want to change my mind, because like, oh, if I change my mind, then people know I made a mistake or this. And it's like, dude, don't worry about it. It's all good. We can always change our mind, learn, grow, adjust. That's how progress is made. And right now, I really believe is the time. I think this week is the week that Ontario is going through the last week of the province-wide lockdowns. Excuse me. So I'm hoping to see new ways of remedying whatever it is that we're going through right now. I think we shouldn't use COVID as a blanket statement anymore, or a blanket situation to hide the fact that we were, in kind of trouble prior to COVID. And we see it in different places too. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I think a lot of countries, some states, some provinces, everybody's like, I look at different places like different experiments and different ways of managing people and different ways of living. And for me to see a place like India right now just being devastated by COVID, I don't think, again, I'm not downplaying COVID. I've never been any of those things. It definitely exists, but the numbers and the way it's been treated, I think, is kind of a way for some politicians, perhaps in India, to get away with the mismanagement and proper care that was needed, but they didn't give that proper care and attention to their country, to their locale. And I think those underlying issues get covered sometimes by COVID, and you see that in other places too. That's just one. You got Iran, you got South Korea, you got places in different territories that are out of, reach. They're not so close to all the services and amenities that the big cities have. You see those places, struggling, and it's like, man, are these places struggling because of COVID, or were these places always struggling and COVID just highlighted the weaknesses essentially in the chinks in their armor, if you know what I'm talking about. So that's I hope that makes sense, and I just don't want this to go on any longer, being perpetuated and being like a blanket or a cover statement to misdirect our attention from the actual things that matter. Because I don't think it's, yeah, at this point it's again been more than a year, and there's a ton of people realizing that we can all be living our lives normally with a little bit of responsibility and care, and I think people have always been like that, but this was a good little reminder. But we should not let big we shouldn't let that's the thing. I don't want to see further policing. I don't want to see further militarization of different public sectors, whether it's, military rolls in to give assistance to the healthcare system. They step in to enforce a little bit more security, put up more restrictions at borders. All these limitations, and all these, again, living in gotcha moments, giving people the permission to, again, find camps. Oh, are you wearing a mask? You're not wearing a mask? Good, bad. And creating that system, creating that society where we can go up to people and be like, you're not doing this, and I don't think you're not doing this right, and you should do it my way, and give ourselves that permission to essentially be snitches, be yes men, be followers, and be virtue signalers. You know what I'm talking about? You're like, oh, I'm doing these set of things, and if only you did the same things, we'd all be in a better situation. It's like, man, we should definitely, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but that's the thing. Everybody should have their freedoms to express themselves and move about as freely as they'd like. If you want to be, at this point, I really I want to be done with the masks. I'm done with the lockdowns. It's not working. The stats are there for their lockdowns have not worked, and I think we're just now, governments are now using this as an excuse so that they don't have to own up to their failures from the past that, provided the opportunity for COVID to impact us the way it has. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense, and I believe a lot of people do see it that way too. It's just, again, because there are certain agendas being pushed, because there's a lot of money to be made, because there are multinational conglomerates, whether it's pharmacy agencies, pharmaceutical companies, whether it's transportation, tech, innovation, whatever you want to there's just a lot of big money to be made by huge companies right now, and there's definitely benefits. There's definitely, the more we keep on chanting these same messages, the more we're going to forget about the underlying issues and not give it the attention that it needs. If a lot of places there was already an issue of homelessness, and I'll continue to talk about these things because I believe they're important, but we just saw homelessness in a lot of major cities that just erupted very similarly here in Toronto and Vancouver, down in places like you got Skid Row in California, and so many in New York. Everywhere there's a ton of homeless, and again, we're privileged to, because we're living in different societies. There are different experiments going on in terms of you got a little, every country's doing it differently, right? But if we're being impacted like this, and we're, again, privileged enough to be one of the core countries, if you will, you could imagine how periphery countries who were on the come up or have been struggling for decades with poverty, with lack of medicine, with lack of freedoms, you can see how they're crumbling. And it's not COVID's fault. It's our own doing. It's our own lack of attention. It's our own improper governance, rather, and that's what it is. It's not COVID that's crippling us. It's the little tweaks and adjustments that need to be made in our institutions. And again, I can't tackle everything globally. Nobody can, obviously, but we can work together and focus our attention where we're at. And I'll be focusing my attention in my city, in my home, and this is it. And I just want to be letting you guys know that everything will be okay. I just need and I see it every weekend, the anti-masks and anti-lockdown protests every Saturday that they've been going down. Gradually, I see it every time I go out for a walk. I'm not going into the whole demonstration or what have you. Again, I do whatever I just view it from afar, but I do see a little bit of numbers gathering and gaining momentum ever. But that's the thing, man. If you don't want this to get out of hand, government officials should really pay close attention. And yeah, I'm not too happy with the way I don't. I find myself, yeah, sometimes, and I had a discussion earlier on this week, and it's concerning, I guess. Where do you draw the line between being polite and where does that line get crossed, I guess, maybe with like dishonesty, maybe? Does that make sense? Because here's the thing, like, I don't think of myself as an impolite person, but I think for the most part that I'm, even if I'm saying, it may not sound like it sometimes if I say certain things, but because I'm trying to do storytelling and comedy, I'm not supposed to be, but overall, I'm just letting you know, for the most part, I try to be, I think, a polite person. And I was having a discussion with my brother, and it was an interesting point because at one point, is being too polite or being polite hindering growth or progress because maybe you don't want to, maybe, like, that's the thing, sometimes I don't know if I'm even like, because you keep saying this, like, if I'll continue to like maybe make a point in the same manner, maybe it's not getting across, maybe a little bit of frustration or a little bit of emphasis to those same statements would get a different reaction, if that makes sense. And I think, again, it goes back to, like, well, that's the thing, I'd like everybody to be able to talk and be polite and be nice and like whatever, even like joking's different, but I don't want to like it is a fine balance, I guess. It's a fine balance, and I don't know what I'm trying to say. I hope that makes sense, dude. It's I'm always like, I'm always genuine and like as truthful as and as honest as I can be, and I don't hold anything back. Sometimes I do see myself, though, not even like censoring or anything, be like, I don't particularly like the way this particular person's doing their job, but I don't want to particularly come down too harsh on them either, because at the same time I do see us as, like, again, we're in one large communal team, if that makes sense. And it's just like I'm even if I see you guys, if somebody's not doing their job and like I'd always want them to like be able to like turn things around without it escalating to whatever it might escalate to. I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, I will try to work on it so that it does make sense. You know what I'm, you know, it's just like what, because it's easy to just be like, F this guy and F that guy and F this lady and F that lady, and like, and sure, I mean, I could do that, and I could make it funny, and I could make it, and maybe I will. Maybe this is, again, as I'm talking out loud, I have these conversations with myself. I'll sit down and write about it. But again, I am trying to find my voice every day and make it better, and like know how to use. Cause like, yeah, it's and I bet a lot of you guys feel that way in a sense, because you might see something and you might be like, man, I don't really, I've been saying the same thing over and over in the same manner. It's not getting the results. Maybe if I were to put a little bit of more emphasis on it, and then maybe if I were to like make myself a little bit. My perception of things has always been, I've never, again, I want to be somewhere in the middle of things. I don't want to be passive. I don't want to be aggressive. I want to be in the middle, somewhere, you know, assertive. And I've always strived to be that way. I don't want to impose. I don't want to be imposed upon, and that's the thing. It's just trying to find that balance, and it's a fine little dance, and I'm trying to do it better every day. Trying to do it better every day. We'll just, yeah, that's a thought that I've been, you know, grappling with for a little while, and everybody does it differently, and I'm trying to learn by listening that's what I'll continue to do, and that's all we can do. We can just ask each other to try, and that's I guess that's the point. Just keep trying. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, thank you very much for all your love and support. If you like these videos, if you'd like to contribute in any way, whether it's just viewing them, do it. Whether it's sharing it with your family and friends and loved ones, do it. Excuse me. Whether you want to subscribe on YouTube or Instagram, or follow me on Patreon and look at the different tier systems that's available there. If you want to contribute in any sense, do it. And if you don't, if you just want to view it, that's cool too, man. That's cool too. Just want to send out a lot of positive thoughts and messages and positive vibes, dude. It's new beginnings. Monday, it's May. Got a lot of challenges coming up, but we're gonna, just be strong, and we're gonna get through it together. Boys and girls, I love you very much. Thank you very much for all your love and support. Ladies and gents, I will be back here again on what? What do we say? Always Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Every once in a while, you might get a little surprise during the week as well. Stay tuned, everybody. Talk soon. Peace.